everyone, my name is Jason.
And I'm Lorraine.
And this is the Sow the Land podcast. And in today's podcast, we're going to be talking about, is the homestead life a simple life? So we're going to be answering that and sharing our thoughts on that topic. And also we're going to be sharing what we did this week. But first, to make it perfectly clear, these podcasts are, first of all, it's a podcast. And you can listen to these podcasts on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and all these podcast apps that you could have on your phone. You can listen to from your phone, and you can also listen to it from your computer if you're at work or if you're gardening or in the car. You can listen to us on this podcast. Also, we've been putting these podcasts on our YouTube channel, but just think of it as, first, it's a podcast. They are meant to be listened to, but we also have been YouTubing it, and we just happen to have the camera on while we're doing these podcasts. So I think these podcasts are better just to listen to it. Even if you're watching on YouTube, you could just turn it on and then just go about your day. You don't necessarily have to watch it. And I think that's what's great about these podcasts. We're all busy.
Right. You can listen to them while you're driving, which I think most people use podcasts for, is they flip them on.
Yeah.
And they can drive. They don't have to focus their eyes.
Yeah, you don't have to watch something visually. For me anyways, I love podcasts. I mean, that's pretty much all I listen to is podcasts. I'd rather listen to a podcast than watch a YouTube channel. Yeah. So let's talk about our week this week. What'd you do this week?
I have been under crunch time. I've been trying to get everything out of the garden and preserve it, whether it's freezing or canning, and then drying, and then trying to also put in our fall and winter garden. So I feel like I'm a little bit late because August was the time to do it, and all of August I've been busy ripping out weeds and some of the dead plants and trying to get seeds in during the same time. So it's been a little bit busy here for me.
Yeah, you've been you've been taking care of that. While you're doing that, I'm trying to stay busy, with our own business and me making things and just trying to keep up with that.
Right, because we have the Homesteaders of America conference coming up, and we have a booth there.
Yeah, and that's in October. And so I've been trying to make product for that, and we've been doing it the last 3 years, and I feel like we do really well there. But it seems like every single year I'm so busy just doing other things, from our store to editing video for our YouTube channel. Even this year is no exception. It's been so busy, and just trying to find the time to fit it in has been difficult. So I've been trying to concentrate on product. Along with that, we just had some family visiting us from California. So that was fun.
Right, that was your sister and your dad who came to visit us.
Yeah, my two little nephews. They had never been to our place before, so I think it was pretty exciting for everybody to get together, and for my nephews to actually see our place, because they watch our YouTube channel. And so I think they were really excited to be on our YouTube channel. We've done a couple videos with them already, and they just had a good time, I think, just to kind of see the chickens and really see what we're growing in real life, rather than just seeing it in a video.
Right, yeah. And another thing that you've been working on that's been keeping you busy is you've been working over at Justin's place.
Yes, I just finished his walk-in cooler. I've done videos on that, and that was a pretty intensive... I'm not going to say it was difficult to do, but it was just a lot of work. And so I was happy to wrap that up. And then I also helped him he just got some sheep. So he needed added some windows in the sheep shelter in his barn, so he could have more light for these sheep, especially now that the winter's coming. And And so I added some more windows in his barn. And so, yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of I have fun working over there. You know, he hires me to do like various jobs around his farm. I'm super excited to do that and thankful. Another thing that I've been doing this week is creating videos and plans. I belong to Justin's DIY Abundance member area. And so I've been busy, creating just more content to put in that member area for the members that are on there. And this is just, it's a little bit different content. I guess it's a little bit more in-depth video. And then also I create these dimensional plans of things that I've built. That's just a whole new thing for us to do that. Yeah, that's just a little different for us. Kind of new, kind of see where that goes. But, with that, we've been trying to get the homestead situated so that way we can leave, because we're going to a Baker Creek seed event in Santa Rosa, California.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That should be a lot of fun.
I mean, that's, leaving the homestead is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Because we have chickens, we have animals.
Yeah. We don't have large animals, which most homesteaders do, and I can imagine it's even harder for them.
Yeah.
But we still have animals regardless, and they need to be fed and they need to be watered, and
yeah,
eggs need to be collected. And
yeah, so trying to find someone that can, ideally, it'd be nice to find someone to come to our place and take care of our chickens. But I know, that can be a lot to ask someone. So, we're still trying to find different ways to do that. But we'll probably end up taking our chickens to a friend's house. I think that'll be a little bit more work on our end, because we actually have to take the chickens somewhere. But for our friends that are watching them, it's more simpler for them, and they're opening up our home, their farm,
yeah.
For our chickens. And so I think we might go that route. And you guys started school already.
We did. We homeschool our little 8-year-old daughter, and we started school. We actually started in mid-August, and we had to start a little bit early because of the trip that's coming up. And so that way we can,
work around it.
Yeah, work around that. I mean, we might do a little bit of school, like homeschool on the road, but nothing really like too intense. I mean, I feel like homeschool on the road is school in itself, and it's so educational.
So I think we should talk about our topic. Is homesteading life a simple life? I don't know.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I think the idea of homesteading, right, when you look at it on paper, I believe it does feel and look simple, right?
I think from an outsider's perspective is what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Like people who aren't homesteading, they can see this homestead lifestyle and they think it is a simple lifestyle.
Like, oh, it's so relaxing. A lot of words that we get that people say to us, like if they look at our Instagram photos or even our YouTube channel, they say, oh, it looks so relaxing there. It looks so simple. Oh, it's such a simple life. But is it really that? Is it really simple? I think it's not simple. I mean, like I said, I think the idea of it is pretty simple. Like when you think of growing food, you're just planting a seed in the ground and it grows. Or raising chickens, like meat chickens, you raise them in a chicken tractor. You move a chicken tractor around, they eat the grass, they grow, and that idea, that is very simple to do. Like, it's very simple. There's nothing complicated about it. But I think when you mix everything that you're doing, I guess trying to find the time to do it all, right?
Right. I think what you're trying to say is like what complicates things is work. The actual work that affords us to live this lifestyle. Everybody has to work, whether it's going to corporate jobs or being a self-employed entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I think that's what I think starts to complicate things. And I think that's what takes us away from the homestead and takes us away from our chores and being able to just go out into the garden and plant a bunch of seeds. Like we have other
responsibilities.
Right, like earning an income.
We need to earn an income. I mean, that's just, you have to.
Yeah. So I think that's what complicates things. I mean, everyone has to do it.
Right.
I don't think there's anybody who, I mean, unless you're retired, maybe, then maybe you don't have to.
Yeah, it'd be nice to, not have to earn an income and you could just like homestead 100%.
Yeah.
But like, that's not reality. But I think it really comes down to like maybe time management.
Time management.
You have to really manage your time well.
Yeah.
And then I think it probably can be simple. Then you have to be okay with some days not doing any homestead stuff. Of being in the office. Like for us, like I need to edit videos. YouTube has become for us very demanding. Which is, I love doing it. I love doing YouTube. I love editing, but it, as we are growing our channel, it has, I could see it. Like I see it coming. I saw it coming. And now we're at the very beginnings of it being very demanding. And so, I'm in the house, I'm editing video, I want to be outside, planting seeds and, doing more of digging in the dirt. But, I think the reality is, we need to concentrate on our business also because we do need to make an income. And if I didn't concentrate on that business, then I'd be going back to an office job.
But then again, you'd be stuck in the same place being gone all day.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can't, it's like you have to find that balance.
Yeah.
I love doing what we're doing. And in order to keep on doing that, I feel like we just need to keep on doing what we're doing. But like time management can be better for us.
Yeah. Yeah. I think some of the other things that might complicate homesteading and make it less of a simple life is like adding too much on your plate. Like when you take on too much on a homestead and you're not ready for that. I mean, that's something that we haven't done, but I could see us easily making that mistake because it's so easy to be like, oh, I want sheep, I want goats, maybe we should get a milking cow. It's so easy to want those things and to want to grow your homestead too quickly. But I can see how like keeping a level head and saying, no, we're going to stay small. We're going to focus on just pasture raised meat birds and just a few, hens to lay our eggs, and then a manageable, I'm sorry, I'm eating a bit. A manageable size, let's try that again. A manageable sized garden that you can manage and then actually put away and preserve the food that you harvest from it. I mean, we've talked about all the time about doing more, but can we handle all of that?
Right. That's
what complicates things and makes it not so simple. We've started out small. We have 1.5 acres here on our homestead, and I think we still do things on a smaller size scale, and it is still manageable for us. And I think at times it can be a whole lot more simple than if we had 20 acres or 50 acres.
Yeah, I mean, like say it would be a lot simpler if we didn't have, when we only have 6 chickens and 3 ducks. Mm-hmm. But like if we didn't have those things and just had the garden, it would still be a lot, right? Like it would be simpler if we didn't have these animals. So I can imagine like if we took on like a milk cow,
right?
That I mean, the idea of having a milk cow seems, I don't know, to me it kind of seems simple. You just milk a cow every day.
Yeah,
like,
move them from pasture to pasture.
Yeah, what's so hard about it doesn't seem complicated. I've seen people do it. It seems simple, right? But
there's all of the little things that start to add up, like in the morning chores time. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, I think it adds up, feeding our chickens and moving our pasture-raised birds, that takes, I don't know, X amount of time. But then you add in another animal and that takes more time. But then you've got the garden and that takes a little bit more of your time. Trying to get it all done before the heat of the day so you can make time for work, actually earning an income. That, that's tricky in itself.
right. I guess it'd be different if we were actually earning an income from growing food.
Like a market garden.
Yeah. Because then you're like, that's what you're doing. You have to do that because that's how you make your income.
Yeah.
But we don't do that. So, it's just, I just have to find that balance. So I think in the beginning, I think it can feel not simple. Not a simple life. Like you're running around trying to figure it out and try to do all of it. But I think as we're doing it, I feel us like changing as far as being okay with not doing it all. Like being more comfortable not doing homesteading, but working on our business.
Like an example of that is this year. I keep telling them I hardly did any canning, but then when people look in my pantry, they're like, "You did do canning," and I'm like, "But I didn't do the amount of canning that I wanted to." So in my mind, I'm like, I didn't do any canning this year, but I did. I just didn't do the amount of it. So we have to be okay with. I didn't can 200 jars and put away all that food. I mean, we froze it and we ate it and we gave a lot away.
Yeah.
So I think we have to just be okay with like scaling back at some point to still enjoy like the simple life of homesteading, because I think that's ultimately what it's meant. What it is homesteading is the simple life.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we moved here.
Right.
To be more intentional with our life,
right.
and be more simple
yes.
of the things that we're doing. So I think naturally we tend to complicate things.
We do. Sign up for too many things.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, I can do that.
Yeah, and just stop for a minute and just think about it and just say, let's just keep it how it is.
Yeah.
And let's try to be as efficient doing what we're doing things now. Mm-hmm. Like, even though, like, we've pretty much been doing the exact same thing for the last 3 years.
Yes. And that's not a bad thing. That sounds like a long time when you say that. Like, oh, we've been doing the exact same thing for 3 years. But we have been fine-tuning. Like, we didn't really homestead before 3 years ago. We lived in the city, and we had a small garden, but, coming out here was a complete change for us. Like, we have a large garden and we're trying to put it away. We're trying to put all the food away and preserve it. And we have eggs from our chickens. Some days we're drowning in eggs and some days we don't have any eggs. But we have our meat birds that we're doing. And I feel like finally at year 3, I think I've said this before in another podcast, that finally at year 3, I feel like this is finally the year that we see our homestead kind of working for us. And all of the things that we set up in place in year 1 and year 2, finally it's starting to like work out for us. And like, we have rain barrels and we have apple trees that give us apples, and our garden looks great. Before, in year 1 and year 2, we were still trying to figure out things like, well, could we add on one more row in the garden? Could we add a greenhouse? And now we have those things and we're like, oh, this is working out really nicely for us. So 3 years of homesteading, and to say doing this exact same thing, it's really not that long. I mean, we're learning so much.
So I think homesteading in itself is a simple life. But we have to remember, I think, not to complicate it by taking on more than what we can handle. I think we've even known homesteaders in the area that have taken on more than they can handle.
Yeah.
And they get so stressed out.
Or burnt out.
They don't want to do it anymore.
They leave. Maybe come back again.
They leave. Yeah, for sure. And or they just get rid of all their animals and say, I'm taking a break for a year.
Which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's
Right.
good to like...
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get to that place where we're having to like scale down. You know, like I'd rather do a gradual build up than getting rid of.
Right.
I don't know when that's going to happen, if we're ever going to, get larger animals or be more, say, I don't know if there's a point where you say, okay,
I'm ready.
Let's get that milk cow. I don't know if that's going to happen like that. I think it's going to be maybe a gradual thing for us. I don't know if it's going to happen at this property.
Yeah.
We've talked about maybe moving to a bigger property, but, who knows?
Baby steps.
But yeah, I think it's important not to complicate things. But homesteading can be simple. So I think that wraps up our podcast for this week. And again, we're going to be in Santa Rosa, California. What are the dates?
Let me check. It's next week, actually.
September 10th through the 12th?
It is September 10th through the 12th.
Boom. So we'll be in Santa Rosa. That's Northern California, just above San Francisco. So if you're in that area, or if you plan on going to that Heirloom Seed Expo, if you see us walking around, make sure you stop us and say hi.
Yeah, actually, we're going to be speaking on Wednesday.
Yes.
So with the Holler Homestead.
Yes, and we're going to be speaking on growing food for health and kind of telling both of our stories on growing food for health.
Yeah.
I think we both families have a lot to say about that.
Yeah.
And also, if you're listening to this podcast on iTunes, make sure you rate our podcast. That's how more and more people are listening to us by how we're rated. If you like us, give us 5 stars, give us a thumbs up. And also, you could also email us. We're always looking for different topics for our podcast. So you can email us at hello.sowtheland@gmail.com. But we appreciate you guys listening
And watching.
and we'll see you guys next time.